Welcome to Quick Bites. SimTheWorld here, making 5-star dishes in Cooking Simulator. Today, we're taking a look at the German potato salad. This dish might look pretty simple, and it really is a simple recipe. However, I found a couple tricks that we can get around and make this a little bit simpler, so I want to share those with you guys today. Let's start off making this dish. So to a pot, we're going to add 1,000 milliliters of water, 20 grams of salt, and 300 grams of potatoes. That's 2 potatoes. This is going to boil for 120 seconds, so let's get that pot ready. In the pasta dishes, I've noted that you do need to use bottled water. For vegetables, I haven't found that to be the case. However, if you want to play it safe, it's not much money. Just buy a liter of water, and you have the perfect amount. Next, we'll add the 20 grams of salt. And you keep track here. Make sure to watch what's going into the big pot and not necessarily what's pouring. Sometimes you'll hit the counter. And this is where things get interesting. Before I put the 2 potatoes in, you'll notice that we boil it and then we cut it up into 15-gram pieces. Now, if you guys are anything like me, you're wondering, okay, I need to boil the potatoes, then cut it up. And how are you going to know you're going to get 15-gram pieces? Well, it's really a pain, and it's hard to tell. So my advice, and what I wanted to test, and what this, one of our first tricks is that you can actually get away with pre-cutting them. So you can cut them up into the 15-gram pieces before you go and, I dumped those all over. Before you boil them and then boil those pieces. That way, you don't have to worry about making exact cuts. I have to make sure, I think I dropped a potato. So yeah, make sure you get them all in, not just throwing them about. Get the pieces in, give it a good shake, make sure everything's in the water. Yeah, there's a couple up top, I don't like that. Yeah, as long as they're all hitting the water, they should all cook. So that pot should be good to go. Now, this won't deduct any points that I can tell, maybe ever so slightly, but this should be perfect. So that pot's ready to boil. That boils for 2 minutes. Well, that boils. I want to get another pot ready. Let's scroll down just a little bit. So in addition to the 2 potatoes cutting into 15-gram pieces, you need an onion cut into 15-gram pieces. Again, this is one of those things I suggest having a bunch of these pre-cut into the portions already. I'll usually stick with either 1 or 2 grams within what they specify. That seems to either not dock any points or not dock any that reduces our stars. Have those always at hand, that way you can grab what you need. So to our second pot, we're going to add 500 milliliters of chicken broth. So, let's get this started. Half a liter goes in. Let's be smart about how... Ooh, nope, we poured way too much. Oh, that was bad. That's okay, though, because we can get this reduced down. I know, I want to be exact, because we want to score this right. So we're down to 22 milliliters. We can taste this a few times. Get this down to what we need. A couple more. Perfect. That is 500 milliliters. Now we need 20 milliliters of white wine, or white vinegar, I should say. Let's pour this in. Now these amounts we'll pour slowly and make sure we're watching what goes in. We are a couple more. There we go. I think that's technically, yeah, that's 21. That's okay. Not the end of the world. So then we need 10 grams of salt, white pepper, sugar, and then 10 milliliters of mustard. So let's get that all settled in. Make sure to watch what's going in. See, I can pour off to the side, and it counts towards the pouring, not necessarily what's in the pot. There's 10 grams of white pepper. 10 grams of sugar. And we'll end with 10 milliliters of mustard, which we put 14. That's quite a bit. Shouldn't dock us any points. Again, With the liquids, especially in such a big pot, I think it's done by ratio, like the proportion of what's in there, so extra 4 milliliters shouldn't mess anything up. I say that now. So we'll give this a good shake, make sure those onions are all in the liquid. And this now will boil for 60 seconds. And to be clear, this is when both items are fully cooked. I'm going to set a stopwatch. I suggest you guys do that too when you're cooking, whether it's in-game or just the one on your phone. I like the one on the phone because you can do a couple things. And we will come back when this finishes up. Again, the onions will take only 60 seconds, so make sure you turn that off before that's halfway through. And there's 5 seconds left. Let's let that count on down and cut the heat for those overcooked. Perfect. So everything should be ready. It's now just time to assemble. We'll grab a casserole dish. We'll put the potatoes in, then the onions. We need 20 milliliters of sunflower oil, which, given my pouring abilities today, I'm actually going to pour off to the side. Oh, I get that one right. Fantastic. So here's our casserole dish. We'll come over, you can just scroll over and grab all the potatoes and stack those in. Make sure not to drop any. Same with the onions. This is going to get crowded, but that's okay. It's good flavor. All the onions are in, the potatoes are in. We will then drizzle this with the sunflower oil and then garnish with 2 or 4 chives. That's 8 grams. Let's get that over. And I actually like the advanced controls for pouring. Gives you that little red dot, which is a little more helpful. Pour that in. I think that all drizzled in. Let's get the chives on top and we're ready to serve. Not a hard dish, but again, you want to make sure that you pre-cut stuff. Otherwise, it's going to be a bad time. Let's see how the customer likes it. And there's your full points. I will note, like, there's a couple pixels off on that last star. Everything is perfect. I can assume that's either because of not perfect cutting techniques, or maybe there's a partial diminishment because we cooked the potatoes first. Could be because we dropped the potato too. Didn't get the full amount. Anything's possible, but this shouldn't matter for you guys. You should get the perfect stars because in the sandbox mode, of course, you don't get your skills. You get the unlockables, but you don't get those little skill perks, which kind of pad your scoring or increase the tolerance of the scoring of dishes. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, I can't help you with the cutting techniques. That's something you got to do with practice. But if you take your prep time and get that all taken care of beforehand, this is another easy dish for your menu. So thanks for watching as I simulate my life, one game at a time. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates of future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch, as I'll occasionally stream live. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.